Hey guys, how you doing? Hope all's good. Bit of a change of approach this week. I had a question from someone asking me to show them the setup, my rig, go through it. So I'm going to do a rig rundown this week, so you can see exactly what I've got going on and how I use stuff. So I've got my hot water, I've got the lights and the cameras all working. Let's have a look at the rig. I have the Yamaha DTX 900M and the Yamaha DTX 12N. The reason I use Yamaha is really simple. It's for the layering. There's no other kit out there that allows you to do what the Yamaha stuff does. For example, you've got a tom pad here. You've got the possibilities of 297 samples, layers that you can put on each pad. So that's 99 on the pad itself, and then you've got another 99 on the top pad. You've got a trigger at the top, and another 99 on the bottom down here. So that's 297 on that pad, the snare pad, the pad over there as well. The kick drum, 99. You don't have the rims on the kick drum. The cymbals, you have the bell, the bow, and the edge. That's 99 on each one. Those 99s, you can assign them to different MIDI channels. You can assign different notes to them. You can assign different sounds to each of them as well. The hi-hat, you've got 6 different trigger zones. So what's that? 594 different samples going on just the hi-hat if you want. There's no other kit out there like it. With the 12M, you've got 12 trigger points on here, and each trigger point you can put 4 samples on. So just that box alone, you've got 48 sample triggers available to you. So another really important bit of gear that I use, that I think you're going to have to get yourself something at some point. Earphones, headphones. These are mine. These are the guys that I use. They're ACS. I've used these now for probably 10 years. I'm used to them. I've had them molded to the shape of my ear, so they're an incredibly comfortable fit. And in the years that I've had them, the 10 years that I've had them, they've developed, ACS have developed their headphones. They're the triple drivers. So the response and the sound in there is something I've got used to. You don't have to get in-ear monitors, specially made ones. You know, there's loads of stuff out there, but it's really important that you get a good set of headphones, I think, if you're going to be working with clicks and all that stuff. I've got the module, the DTX module down here, down at the bottom. When it comes to using electronics, something else that you get into is computers. So I have my whole kit set up to my computer, which you've obviously seen in videos that I've been making. Computer I use is a MacBook 2011, mid-2011. There's a reason why I use them. The 2011 MacBooks were the last MacBooks that you could get, which you could change at your own will. It's a unibody, it's not a retina display. So what do I mean by change? If you want to, for instance, take the DVD drive out and drop in there another hard drive, so you've got 2 hard drives within the machine, you can do that. If you want to put SSD drives in there, you can do that. If you can't afford to get a machine that's got 16 gig of RAM in it straight away, you want to work your way up 4 gig and then 8 gig and then work up to the 16, you can do that. So you can buy a machine that's the bare bones for probably 300, 350 pounds these days. So that's the computer side. But of course, when you get into computers, the other thing that you need to start doing is looking at interfaces. I use the Orpheus Prism, which is a beautiful interface. It works all through Firewire. Great sound from it. With that, with just the kit and the computer and the sound card, you're working. You've got the tools that you need. The last thing I have in my chain is a mixer. And the reason I have the mixer is so that I can mess about with levels, backing tracks, click tracks. I can control it all from here, and I can still send everything out to front of house. This is a pretty old school mixer that I've got. It's a Mackie 1604 VLZ. It's old school, but I like it because everything's there that I need. I can press buttons. I don't have to go into screens on iPads or tablets or phones to get onto various screens. So it doesn't interfere with my playing too much. I can just rock up, get all the channels coming out, going to front of house. In my ears, it sounds exactly the same on stage as it does in here when I'm working, and I love that. There's no surprises. If something isn't there, I can source what the problem is straight away. I guess the only other thing to talk about is MIDI. When I'm using the computer, I need to get the kit to speak to the computer. And you can do that a few ways. The Orpheus does have MIDI capabilities with it. It's got MIDI in and out on it, so I could use that. But I choose not to. Down at the bottom, I have an MT4, an eMagic MT4, which I got years ago. It gives you 2 inputs and 4 outputs. That's 2 MIDI ins, 4 outs. The reason I use that is because I'm old school. I like using MIDI. I like using MIDI cables. It's reliable. I know how it works, and I can follow the chain. I can see it. Visually, I can see it. When I start using USB, you don't see the ins and the outs. You just have a USB going from your module straight into the computer. And it also starts eating up your ports, your USB ports. On these machines, you only have 2. And I know that you can bring hubs into it. But if you bring hubs in, you then need power to make the hub active, which gives you the power for the number of USB ports that are going in there. So the fact that I have this stuff lying around, I was like, well, I'm going to use it. I'm going to utilize it. So I do it all via MIDI, USB coming out of the computer straight into the MT4. I then have 2 MIDI ins and 4 MIDI outs. So if I want to, for instance, have another computer running and I want video on that computer, maybe I'm using Resolume. Instead of it being hooked up using USB, I can hook it up by chaining it together with another MT4 and have that MT4 hooked up to the other computer. And then I can just come in and out accordingly to make sure that everything's working. So it's really simple. So that's dealt with all the hardware as far as the kit goes, and what's going on, what I've got going on. The next thing and the exciting thing, which I'm getting into big time at the moment, is then using effects. And I've got a GT3, a Boss GT3 down here on my right hand side. I've got the TC Electronics Nova delay down here on my left hand side, and I've got a Chaos pad as well. And what I do is, because of my module and the way my desk is, one of the beauties of having the desk there is I can take individual out from the module, my drum module, the DTX 900, and I can send that to various places. I can send it to the desk and then route it to the pedals, either one, so changing them around as you go, or I can just constantly have them being sent to the GT3, constantly have them sent to the TC Electronics, depending on what I'm working on, whether I'm working on a specific track or putting a show together. And the same with the Chaos pad. Using the desk, I can route them to different parts. So one time I might have the kick and the snare going to the GT3, the next time I might route it all over to the delay pedal. It might all then just go to the Chaos pad. Everything might go to the Chaos pad, so I can start putting filters and reverbs on there. It's very versatile, and I really like that, and I need to have that in my setup. So yeah, so there you go. The last thing is the Novation, the Nocturne. I have this tiny little controller which sits underneath my hi-hat. That allows me to change various parameters that I have set up within Ableton. It allows me to assign CC messages as well, so I can control some of those Max for Live devices. Max for Live, if you've not looked at it, it's a great little app where you can build your own devices that allow you to control parameters and software instruments and effects within Ableton. It's awesome, and there are some amazing people out there doing some incredible things with it. Ableton drummer Tobias Hunk over Ableton Drummer is someone who specializes in building these apps for drummers. Go and check him out. Go and check the apps out. Really good stuff. So there you go. That's kind of like this corner. That's this corner of the room where I've kind of like got all my kit going on, and that's a rundown of my setup. I hope that gives you a little insight as to how I'm getting some of the things going on that I am. Any questions, fire them over. Thanks for watching the video. If you've liked it, smash the subscribe button on YouTube or the like button on Facebook. It's been much appreciated. If you want to learn more about electronics and what you can get going on with it, there's always my book, The Art of E-Drumming, which you can get hold of, which shows you how to use all this stuff. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on another bid vid. Take it easy until then, guys. All the best. See ya.